there is one aspect of the Chinese society which is not well known, and I must say it took me a lot of time to understand what was going on. It's a kind of a legal apartheid. Legally, all the Chinese people don't have the same rights. Each Chinese has an identity card which connects this person to the place where he was born. And you don't have the same rights depending on the kind of identity card you have. To give you a very simple example, if you come from a rural village, from Sichuan and Hunan or I don't know where, you go to Beijing or to Shanghai to find a work, okay? You can find a work legally or illegally. But not being a citizen of Shanghai or Beijing, you can't live there. You don't have access to public services. You cannot send your children to school in Beijing or Shanghai. You cannot get into a hospital. You don't get health care. Sometimes you can't take a local transportation because you don't have the right identity card. And that's called the hukou system. And so this is legal apartheid. And it goes very far. Sometimes it prevents wedding between people belonging to different places. And for example, it's extremely difficult to become a Shanghai citizen if you were not born in Shanghai. So this legal apartheid, which was created by Mao Zedong in the 50s, is a way to facilitate the exploitation of people. Because your employer will employ you, but you don't have the right identity card, and you are a worker in a factory, and you say, well, I work 14 hours a day, this is too much. And the employer say, okay, you can go back to the town you come from. And of course, you cannot bring your children, you cannot bring your family. Therefore, you are in a permanent dependence vis-à-vis your employer. And this is one of the explanations of the efficiency of the Chinese enterprises and the very low wages. So these characteristics do apply not only to the Tibetans, but to any Chinese. What I say is a common knowledge in China, and the Chinese government mentioned that very often. And one of the paradoxes of the Chinese regime is that everything which I describe, injustice and so on, this will be talked about by the Chinese leaders, and they would say, well, this is too bad, we have to correct the situation, we have to bring social harmony and so on. So they make, as you say in the United States, they make all the right noises. But it never goes beyond noises. Why? Because why would the communist regime make any changes? I mean, the system is very good for them. The system is very good. So they know, they acknowledge, and they say, well, this is very bad, and but nothing changes. And sometimes with discussion with the Chinese leaders in Beijing, I say, but you are not elected, you talk about social harmony and poverty and injustice, and you say you're going to correct that, and why would you do it? Where's the incentive? And the most honest answer I've ever got from a Chinese official was when he told me, well, we fear the people, you know. And, and because we fear the people, maybe someday we'll have to do something about the people. So fear of the people is the real incentive for the Chinese regime.